You must never put your life on the line for me.
Mother has always had a fascination for Lord Mortimer, but has never wanted to tell me why.
We are doing our utmost to find your mother
What the
as
hell's going
quickly
on?
as possible. Without your mother, hundreds of men of the cloth would have gone to the guillotine.
All I can tell you is I'm looking for my sister.
Do you believe your mother capable of torturing a child?
An agreement for cannons. Lord Mortimer assured me that you are to take over the project on behalf of your mother.
Okay, something's up.
Your
The
hand,
title
Christophe von
didn't change the news stream. What the
Minister
hell?
of Religious Affairs, and Jacques Peroux, French Revolutionary Tribunal judge. You will find that Lord Mortimer is not what one would call conventional, Monsieur de Richet. Monsieur de Richet, I am arresting you for the murder of Elizabeth Adams.
Like, holy crap, we just got framed for murder now. What the hell? So basically, we're being framed for murder, huh? We're suspected. Because we were the last ones with her. I honestly didn't want her to die. It's sad. I wanted her to live. Manuscript. Oh, I can equip 2 manuscripts? Alright, I want one that has with the language thing. Linguistics? No. No. Logic seems better. It equipped. Damn. Science. Conviction. It's like all. Fine, we'll do this one then. Okay, we're completely screwed at this point. 1793. Oh. Oh, it's 53, but I'm wrong.
At last we meet, Monsieur de Richet. Do you mind if I call you Louis?
Please do.
Thank you. I wish to apologize wholeheartedly, Louis. I made you cross the seas, and I wasn't even here to welcome you. When I asked you to join us here, it was, of course, in the hope that
He looks like
you
an
would
actor,
help
I
us
know.
find your mother. But an act of horrific violence occurred during the night, and I do not know if this is linked to the disappearance of Sarah.
If there's a possible link to my mother, I hope you'll let me know.
In the early hours of the morning, Elizabeth Adams was found dead in her room, savagely mutilated with a knife.
I was gonna hope it. I was gonna think it was gonna be a suicide thing, but it turns out someone made it look like suicide. That's what I hoped for, but no.
You were the last person to see her alive.
Doesn't make me the
last
killer.
night do you suspect me?
I want you to tell me everything that happened last night and leave nothing out.
Okay,
Tell
you're
me,
here to help me search for my
How
mother.
did the
Okay.
evening begin?
Duchess Hillsborough and I were returning to our rooms when Elizabeth came up to us. She was in a state of panic and insisted that she needed to speak to me. She said she feared for her life. I took my leave of the Duchess and followed Elizabeth to her room.
Continue.
Continue.
She insisted we have a drink, without which she refused to confide anything.
What exactly did she want to speak about?
She claimed she saw
Have to
my
be
mother
very
the
honest.
previous evening on the cliff, if I remember correctly.
Interesting. I will
How's
send
that noise?
someone as soon as possible. But do go on.
I refused to go on drinking with her. She already seemed drunk and her conversation became confused. So then she ordered me to get out. If only I'd stayed.
Don't blame yourself, Louis. How could you have known? But thank you for this new information. Louis, I shan't hide the fact that this tragedy puts me in a very delicate situation. I cannot risk upsetting the smooth operation of our next conference. But the case cannot remain unaddressed. I must reassure my guests, and justice will be done. And for that to happen, I must ask for your help.
Why is that?
You met Elizabeth. You spoke together, I believe. She trusted you. Listen, Louis. Find out.
I will find out who
could have
killed her.
committed
I
this
will find
murder.
out.
I refuse to believe that one of my guests is the murderer. I want to know who is
I
responsible.
don't think it'd be
for
Lord
this.
Mortimer, honestly.
And I trust
He wasn't
you.
there, so...
You have my backing.
Unless he got a hitman.
Must stop at nothing. Can I count on you?
Of course. How would you like me to proceed?
Maybe you could start by going to the scene of the crime.
Oh, scene of the crime. I
Elizabeth
love
was
that in
attacked
mysteries.
in her room.
Right. I'll get over there immediately.
Thank you, Louis. Now, once you've finished, come back and let me know your findings. I'll be waiting.
Is someone playing with their dog or something? Because I
And Louis,
can hear whistling in the
You've
background.
got permission to search through the guests' rooms. They've all been notified and they agree.
All of them agree, including that soldier guy who I lost the confrontation with. Well, then again, I also lost the confrontation with the Duchess, with Duchess Emily, so, yeah. I'm gonna go talk to Pachi.
Your
Pachi?
Eminence,
Pachi?
I imagine that you've heard the news about Miss Adams.
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing
She
have
knew too
happened?
much.
That's
She knew too much.
exactly what I'm trying to find out. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte.
I knew he was suspicious as soon as I saw him in my
hanging around
vision
near
last
Miss Adams'
episode.
room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble. He's
He was probably
so
guarding.
now.
You never know.
But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perry. You remember how violently
I don't want to talk to him. He called her the S word and then the W word.
Don't worry. He's on the list of suspects.
He said the S word and he said the W toward her in the last episode. I was like, you know what? You don't call a woman that. You never do. Especially if they say no. No means no. It's like a joke. It's like jokes. If someone doesn't like that particular joke and they say no, stop it. Ah, that's how you do it. That's not Zeus. That's, it's not Poseidon. I totally forgot. I don't know my mythology well. Damn it. Alright, let's go to her room. Go to her room, then search everybody else's room. That's what I have to do. Right, where's her room again? We always have to go to the scene of the crime first, then we can investigate the rest. At least that's what I would do if I was a detective, but I'm not a detective. Whose room is that? Hello there, sir.
Good day, Monsieur de Richet.
Mr. Volner, are you looking for anything in particular? Next to Elizabeth's room?
Oh, is that a room?
No,
Sir,
Nothing
you're
special.
stumbling on your words.
Has anyone told you that Elizabeth was killed last night?
yes.
Rumors?
Spread quickly.
Excuse me?
He looks very put out.
It's horrible. How did it happen?
I can say nothing to you, sir. You'd better follow your host's instructions and stay in your quarters.
I shall leave you now, sir. I will return to my room.
Wait, aren't we supposed to look through the rooms? Shouldn't it be just stay in the dining hall? This is her room, isn't it? Yeah, that's her room. It's got the pentagram and everything. I always wonder, why did her room look like that before? I mean, I understand she was paranoid as hell, but she was getting paranoid as hell, but still. They left the... Oh, dear God. Over the carpet and everything. Jesus Christ. Right. Let's investigate. Should we investigate? I think it's investigate the body first, then we gotta look for the weapon. Right. Incredibly bloodied. Jesus Christ. You must have a vendetta with someone to just mutilate them. Eyes open too, God. This is horrible. I hope nothing worse was there. I hope not. Otherwise we're gonna have to suspect that Peru guy, but we shouldn't suspect the obvious. Let's examine her hands.
Wounds, but blood on the right hand. Nothing on the left except that tattooed symbol. No marks or bruising around the wrists. Doesn't look like she was tied up or held by force.
Was this out of nowhere, perhaps?
There are numerous marks on the body. She must have fought like a lion. It couldn't have happened without a lot of noise. There are also a number of old scars.
Yeah, she had those old scars. I remember she said that.
People who scar themselves in this way generally do so to release some kind of psychological suffering.
Ah, she was
By
self-harming.
trying to master the pain, they establish their self-control.
So she has, I think she had mental, she did have...
Scarring, ugh. Scarring isn't very regular, but they're mostly from old cuts.
Some in her head.
I see no sign of bruising on the skull.
So she wasn't knocked out.
The only clue is a scar from a previous craniectomy. Poor Elizabeth, she must have been very young when she went through all that. That's torture.
She did
also
mention she
has
was a
old
small
scars around her
kid.
neck. Maybe mutilations.
She did mention she was a very small kid when that was going on, so...
What a strange smell.
Was she poisoned? Was she poisoned, perhaps?
She bled from the nose.
I mean, she's got blood from the mouth.
There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising. There's signs of bleeding, but I don't see any traces of bruising.
Alright, click that, didn't I? Whoops.
There's signs of bleeding, but
Ah,
I don't see any
same
traces
one.
of bruising.
What else we are not? Her hands, the upper
I
body.
count no fewer than 9 wounds on the thorax, with a lot of blood. At first sight, I'd say that's what caused her death.
I'm gonna guess she was
Looks as though
poisoned.
the wounds were inflicted from a precise angle, as if the murderer was standing behind Elizabeth. Some of these tattoos are veritable works of... What's that? The skin between her breasts is different. Bloody hell! This tattoo was drawn on a page of leather and stitched onto her skin. Probably during
Oh,
childhood.
Jesus.
If the scars are anything to go by. It's the same kind of tattoo as on the rest of her body.
Okay, I think she was poisoned. There's a sort of smell to it. What are you doing here, servant?
My dear Elizabeth, I'm writing to inform you of some unfortunate news. We won't be able to meet as planned on the first Sunday of May. I've been told that you're no better, and, unfortunately, your brothers and I are absolutely snowed under by the work required to govern this new country. Please excuse us. As soon as we can get free, even if it's just for a day, I promise we shall come and see you. Your loving father, John Adams. P.S. Don't hold it against your mother if she still isn't ready. Please don't judge her. I'm sure you will be able to put all of this behind you one day.
I'll talk to the servant later. Right now, we gotta investigate more. What else? Clock been knocked over.
Clock stopped at 3:54.
3:54
It was
a.m.
smashed during the murder, then I've just established the time of the crime.
3:54 a.m. Everybody would have been asleep by then.
A pentagram? What the hell's been going on here?
Was she into Satanism?
I wonder if Elizabeth's death has anything at all to do with this pentagram. If a ritual went wrong and degenerated, Elizabeth would probably have been killed in the center of the pentagram, not 3 meters from here. That's strange.
There's no trail of blood, so she wasn't dragged. So that's not what happened. She was killed right there, because of the blood there. She was killed there. I thought that was blood for a second there, but that's just a bit of fabric instead.
Vials of laudanum. The label shows that this laudanum comes straight from America. I wonder if Washington's involved.
Oh, man. I didn't think he'd be a killer. Unfortunately, she passed away. I was starting to like her. But again, I've never been like that paranoid over something like
A
this.
novel of the initiation of a young woman into polite society.
A notebook written in Elizabeth's handwriting. It is written in a mix of several languages. Not too easy to work out.
Damn.
June 11th, 1791. My dear Elizabeth, your last letter gave me much cause for concern. Your words were so cold, as if emotions no longer matter to you. Father maintains that the secondary effects of your treatment still trouble you, but that they will soon subside. Should I believe
I
that?
don't think they
I
worked.
cling to the belief that we shall soon see each other again, at long last. Right soon. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. Don't forget to tell me what present you want.
Okay, her sister wrote to her.
August 24th, 1792. Elizabeth, I am driven to despair and doubt there is any point in writing to you. I'm not even sure you'll receive my letters. Father controls my correspondence more and more. I am certain he filters our exchanges. Thankfully, one of the chambermaids is able to help me get my letters to you. But they still remain unanswered. I often think about you and pray every day to be able to hold you tight. We have so much time to make up. I beg you, answer me, please. Your loving sister, Abigail. P.S. That horrible woman came again yesterday. She spent a long time speaking with Father.
Is it our
I
mother?
didn't
Is it his
understand
mother?
everything because they spoke in French, but I'm sure they were talking about you.
Something's not right there.
Piece of fabric. High quality at that. I'd say it's silk. Going by the texture and the gray hue, it must come from a dress, that kind that women of quality wear. The color doesn't correspond to Emily's black outfits, and Elizabeth doesn't have anything quite like this in her wardrobe. Let's take a closer look. It's a little dirty. It must come from the bottom of the dress where it touches the ground. I recognize that moire pattern. It's the same as the travel dress my mother was wearing when she left. But why the hell did she come into this room?
Oh no, is our mother the killer? Oh god. It's not good. Investigate over there. Let's investigate over here. Not the body, the other stuff.
The handprint on the handle is really small. I can't imagine a man with a hand that size. It must be from a woman's hand.
So the woman's so the killer is female then. I'm trying to use my criminal case knowledge, like get 5 clues, then arrest the killer.
Knocked over a bottle of wine.
Or could it be she drinking wine there?
Same thing Elizabeth served me last night. Still just as disgusting. I don't know what's happened to this wine, but it's undrinkable.
I thought maybe it would be like the same smell from
Poor girl bled to death.
same smell in her mouth maybe.
Whoever left that footprint has boats for feet. That's at least a size 15. Where's a size like that here? Peru? Washington, maybe.
Let's see, was she knocked over into the wall?
Blood spatter indicates that the murderer must have held Elizabeth upright during the attack. Even if Elizabeth wasn't very big, I doubt she wouldn't have put up a struggle. It takes tremendous strength to overpower someone like that.
Alright, let's go. I think we checked everything. Let's go ask the servant.
Has finished with this room?
Do you know who could have made such a mess of this room?
Miss Adams, sir. We were given orders to leave the room as it was, so as not to rush her.
Did she have a fight with someone to get the room into this state?
Not that I know of, sir.
Miss Adams would sometimes throw a tantrum, during which she would destroy anything that came to hand. Lord Mortimer told us not to enter the room.
Thanks for that information.
You are welcome, sir. Has Sir finished with this room?
I know enough now. Thank you.
Very well, sir. Sir may return whenever need be. I shall guard the door.
Was I told I could go into the other rooms? We don't have to check those now. His room is beautiful. Holy sugar.
Greetings, Louis.
Mr. President, you can guess why I'm here.
Of course.
Lord Mortimer has sent me to ask you a few questions about last night.
It's... How am I going to tell Elizabeth's father that she's dead?
I know, Mr. President. I shall endeavor to find out the truth about this tragedy. I must ask you to help me, though. Please.
Find the degenerate pig who did this, Louis.
Are you all right, Mr. President? Are you feeling all right?
Oh, don't worry. It's this rotten toothache. What do you expect? I'm no spring chicken now.
Were you aware that Elizabeth took laudanum?
Yes, she came to ask me for some.
Okay.
She had finished her reserve, I believe.
Did she tell you why she was so desperate to get some, Mr. President?
She said she had terrible migraines.
Ah, laudanum helps with
More likely for
migraines.
the
That's why I
voices
thought
she
it sounded
heard,
familiar.
Not the migraines. Tell me, Mr. President, had you spoken to Elizabeth since your arrival? You know her father. You thought she was dead.
No, I didn't. And I believe I'll be taking my remorse with me to my grave. I wanted to, but I didn't know where to begin.
You can't blame yourself. You couldn't have known that her days were numbered. Mr. President, we found a footprint at the scene of the crime.
Not a dress shoe, I hope. That's all I wear.
No,
Okay.
rest assured, it looks like the print of a big ankle boot. A large size, I'd say.
Perfect. That should help you, Louis. It's a clue. Greetings, Louis.
That.
Do you know if she had any enemies, Mr. President?
Not that I know of. I heard about her altercation with Mr. Perry, but that case was closed if I'm not mistaken. But if in doubt, I wouldn't leave any door unopened, and I'd go and question your fellow countrymen.
Don't worry, countryman or not, I'm not letting anybody slip through the cracks. Do you know why she came to the island?
To get help, if I'm not mistaken. Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think that's what she
Indeed.
said.
Sir Gregory suggested to her father that he introduce her to Lord Mortimer to see if he could help her. It would appear that she wasn't invited to the conference.
That doesn't surprise me. The poor girl was in no way concerned by our business, and she had no political clout.
So, I don't understand why Sir Gregory invited her during the conference of his good friend Lord Mortimer. He must have realized that he wouldn't have much time to grant her. Preparing a conference does not seem an easy task. On the evening of our arrival, Lord Mortimer didn't even welcome us, what with his being so busy and all.
Yes, you're right, Louis. I didn't think of that. It is indeed rather surprising. The easiest thing to do is simply ask him, you know.
Of course. I shan't keep you any longer, Mr. President.
Feel free, Louis. If there's anything I can do, just ask.
Thank
Okay.
you, Mr. President.
Okay, he seems to be in the clear. He doesn't wear the shoe size that we found at the crime scene. So, dress shoe. It looks more like a boot. It looked more like a boot, so it's not. It's not his. Let's look around here. The door's open here. Didn't see that. Maybe we'll find collectibles, you never know. Royal jelly? Okay. Okay, I guess that means we can't go there. That's unfortunate.
Portrait of George Washington.
Of course. I'll leave this room and go to the next one, why don't we? Which way do I go again? Oh god damn it, I'm getting lost here. Surely a question Von Wilna. Longer. Am I going the right way? Why is it always that every time a main character talks to someone, it always turns out not to be them? It always turns out they're gonna die. It always does that.
Duke Manuel Godoy.
Can't go here, huh? Where we gonna go next? I thought we checked all the rooms. That's what it said, right?
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Oh, that soldier guy. Fine, we'll go in. Is he here? He's here. He looks kind of sad. I guess.
The Prince by Machiavelli. A perfect read for anyone with a surfeit of ambition.
He's
That
kinda...
might come in handy.
Hell yeah. Immunity of him.
Hannibal crossing the Alps. Another military success.
I guess this guy is
Why do I get nothing but visions of horror in my room? And he gets victory after victory?
Well, I guess he's kind of like, oh, I'm very victorious, sir. I am a very accomplished soldier. Hello, sir.
Monsieur de Richet, please be quick. We are both very busy.
Someone saw you not far from the victim's room. Can you tell me what you were doing exactly, please?
I can tell you that someone is an idiot. I wanted to warn her to be careful. You see, on the night of my arrival, I saw someone leaving her room in haste, and I wanted to speak to her, to warn her. Unfortunately, the young lady slipped through my fingers each time. Now I know why. She had every reason to be worried. What an idiot I was not to insist. I could have helped her.
I've been studying him for a while now, and I don't think he was lying. Yet, I'm surprised how easy it was for me to read him. It must surely be his military side. I wish they all could be like that. My investigation would be finished already. Did you hear about young Elizabeth?
Indeed, it is deeply regrettable.
Lord Mortimer asked me to...
I know. You no doubt want to know my alibi. I spent the night downstairs playing cards.
Can you tell me who was present at the game, please?
Well, there were Lord Mortimer, President Washington, and Sir Gregory.
Thank you.
Ah, and His Eminence Piaget as well. Excuse me, I nearly forgot him. Poor soul.
Did any of you leave during the game?
Not that I know of, monsieur. I didn't exactly spend my time noting the other guests' comings and goings, but I don't think so.
Thank you. Did you notice anything unusual during the evening?
Nothing at all, except the luck of the devil of Lord Mortimer and Sir Gregory at cards.
I'll have to question
Did they
them
win
if
much?
they were
Oh
there.
la la, monsieur, they cleaned us out more like. But I plan on getting it all back before we leave.
What time did the game end?
I can't say exactly. As for me, I must have stayed until midnight. I was exhausted, couldn't think straight. So I preferred to go up to bed.
On your way up to bed, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, not in the least. The whole manor was sound asleep.
Not really. No.
Well, have we finished, monsieur?
Exactly. Thanks again for all your answers.
So it can't be him.
Good day.
It can't be him. She was murdered 3 hours and 54 minutes before he did. So, no.
Carmelite water. They say that if you drink this, it gives you a real boost.
Ooh, it does. Okay, I'll try it. Okay.
It's a beautiful weapon. Lovely damask blade. It's marked with the initials of the manufacturer in Versailles.
I see if my memory is with me whenever we have to give these clues in. Okay, so that's his letter. Right.
There's just one holster in Bonaparte's gear, and the pistol is missing. On the other hand, his cleaning equipment is in mint condition. That's typical of the soldier in him.
I do like it when we get murder and mysteries like this, because I'm always like, huh, who could it be? Who could be the murderer?
A drachma.
Drachma. I wonder what that's from. All these collector coins. I remember there's like a Chinese one, but I don't know anything about like these coins. I've never coin collected, so how would I know?
Monsieur Jacques Perru?
Oh boy, okay, we're going in. I don't give a crap if he points a pistol to my head. I don't care. Alright.
What do you want from me, de Richet?
Greetings. It's fallen to me
Cut
that...
the crap! Get to the point. We both know why you're here.
What?
And have you got anything to tell me?
What does it matter? It's too late anyway. Do what you have to do and get out.
It's never too late, sir. If you have something to say, now is the time.
You don't understand. Everything's already written. It's over.
Why is he behaving like the perfect culprit?
Well,
What is it that's already written? I'm not sure I follow you.
No, you don't.
I don't think he's the culprit.
The Massacre of the Innocents by Rubens. A bit gloomy. Guess my room is not that bad.
Great. Honey.
Why is it called Royal Honey? No, we shall meet again. Oh, does he have a wife? You have a wife or something? What was that? It's like right down there.
The Massacre of the Innocents, but by Van Harlem. I think that Mortimer likes to play mind games with his guests.
Kinda. Check everywhere, everywhere. Did I see some flash? No, I didn't. I'm silly. That's what I get for having bad eyesight. You keep thinking you see something, but you don't. Or choice is shaped key. Right, we need to use it. Ah, much better. Oh yeah, that's good.
Records of the police. Notes intended for the police lieutenant of Paris. It's a list of people under surveillance in Paris. And there's some well-known names on it. This is valuable information. This shouldn't be lying around.
Yeah. Psychology is his vulnerable state. That's his vulnerability. Oh, I haven't searched here.
A pattern with 4 circles.
The hell is this?
Dear Monsieur Perru, I'm writing to thank you for the funds you sent. These funds will be crucial for the renovation of the western wing of the orphanage. The children you sent are doing marvelously well, and little Pierre will soon be walking. Some of them still sometimes suffer nightmares about their parents on the scaffold, but I expect they will cease in due course. Should you decide to send us more, please note that another 20 beds will soon be ready. The children and myself.
Ah, so he helps out with the orphanage too, because I remember the last episode we had that mentioned.
Long live France. Sister Marie-Hélène. All right. I've retrieved everything.
All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. Let's get right to it. Are you Elizabeth Adams' murderer?
That is for you to prove, if I'm not mistaken, boy. You weren't expecting me to do all the legwork for you, were you? Lazy man.
I know you were at the scene. We will save a lot of time if you just tell me what happened.
You know nothing at all.
Enlighten me then. For now, I have your footprint in a pool of blood.
That's right. The only thing you can prove is one of my boots was at the scene. Congratulations. You've wrapped up the investigation. All right. Have you finished?
Not quite. I'd like you to answer a few questions. I'd like to talk about the letter you're writing. What woman is it addressed to?
Who says it's a woman? I'm not saying any more. There's no point you insisting.
I guess okay, I guess we're done here. Okay, now where can we find boots? It's not... okay, I guess not. We're gonna go to the next room, because I don't like this guy. He's a jerk. circle-shaped key. Okay, I think it's the last one we need to invest. He's one of the last ones. Let's see where he's off to. Just stuck on there.
The Sorrows of Young Werther. There's a handwritten text signed by von Werner on this first page. Dear Elizabeth, I know that this book is but a small token compared to the delightful moments you gave me, but I hope that this will nonetheless keep the memory alive. Your ever-obedient servant. So, Werner had a relationship with Elizabeth, but that's hardly surprising given his fondness for the occult.
Oh, so he's in a relationship with her. Why didn't he say that before?
A chest locked with a 4-letter code. Surely a word close to the owner's heart.
Okay, I don't think I'll be able to figure something like that out.
What can I do for you, de Richet?
Monsieur, Lord Mortimer has appointed me to investigate the tragedy that befell us last night.
Oh, yes. It's horrible. Yes. How can I help, monsieur?
Excuse me for asking, but did you know Miss Adams?
Oh, she...
Maybe that's why
not
he was so
really,
hesitant.
to tell the truth. No.
I found the Werther dedication, signed by your hand, monsieur. Would you like to change your version now?
Be careful, de Richet. Don't push your luck. My relationship with Miss Adams was pure, and has nothing to do with you. Well, continue playing the detective as you see fit. But if I find the boss who did that to Elizabeth, I will...
Yes! I would have preferred a simple response, but I see I have my answer now. I get the impression that your romance was over. Am I right?
So? What does it matter to you?
Could be a
I would
motive.
never have attacked her, if that's what you're insinuating.
Who put an end to the relationship? You or her?
It was her. It was her. But what does that matter? We both agree.
Please, tell me a little more about the nature of your relationship.
That is a personal matter, monsieur.
Yes, that is true. So, tell me.
All right. It was passion. That's why we couldn't stay together. It scared her.
Exactly how long had you been seeing her?
I have no reason to answer you.
I see. Is that what you want me to tell Lord Mortimer when he asks what I found out?
It's only been a few weeks.
Where were you last night?
In my room. I read a few ancient manuscripts.
Wait, I
before
thought
going
that
to
guy
bed,
said that he was there with
but
the
I didn't
campaign
stay
playing
up long.
cards.
I was
With
tired.
Eli?
Thank you kindly. We finished. I'll have a look around and then take my leave.
Do whatever you have to do.
I'll find out what happened to her, I promise. I liked her too. Not in that way, but, you know, she was nice. She was paranoid, but she seemed nice. Maybe he was the killer.
A fragment of amber.
I want to know more about that box thing. It's a coin.
Cash.
Ah, cash. Yeah. Right, original name.
The signs of obscurantism.
He likes occult. I think we'll go to Mortimer right away. I already spoke to George. What? Oh, wait. Can we investigate? Can we talk to him about that soldier guy? Okay, golden elixir. That's what I need. Hello, sir. President? Damn it.
I shan't keep you any longer.
Do I need to have knowledge just to ask for an alibi?
If there's anything I can do, just ask.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Telescope. That's cool. I want one.
A map of Connecticut.
Hang on.
It looks like a note between Emily and Washington about trade deals.
No, it's okay. Can that come like water do something with your knowledge, maybe?
Portrait of George Washington.
I love that tone of voice. Oh, of course it has his picture there. Of course.
Monseigneur, His Eminence Cardinal Piaggi.
Piaggi. That's how you say it. Not Pahi. Not Pagi. 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 Oh, damn it, I forgot how to say it already. Having suspicion around here.
Dear E, I received your last letter. Unfortunately, the Crown informed the Golden Order that our mission should under no circumstances hamper Sir Gregory's plans. Decidedly, they have support from the highest level in Buckingham Palace. So here we both are, hands and feet tied, and little room to maneuver. Keep me abreast of events. Our mission is becoming more complicated. Yours, E. T.S. The French chapter of the Order doesn't appear to know anything about the arrival of our friend Sarah. I therefore cannot comment on it. However, my guess is that she has come here for personal reasons.
Maybe she is, maybe she's not. We never know.
Grammar of Port Royal. Ah, the artistry of the French language and all its splendor. Whoever masters French commands the world. At least, une partie of it.
Oh look, the bookworm town. Well, it's very useful, ain't it?
Madam, I shall never thank you enough for all your care and attention. I shall be indebted to you until my last breath. If you have any request of me, you only need ask. With regards to my son William, I shall never thank you enough for looking after him. You know the latter's preferences, and you will understand he needs you desperately. For that, and as agreed with Queen Charlotte, our friend Duke Hillsborough will carry out his task and meet with you within 6 months. From then on, you'll be free from want. Yours sincerely, William Pitt, Count of Chatham.
Interesting.
2 coils circle the lock.
Must be so important to have it locked up.
Dear Gregory, thank you for the information. I've managed to find out about the names you gave me. George Washington is a man you can trust. In spite of his obvious talent for politics, he has remained upright and honest. On the other hand, as you may well know, he is already doing business with Lord Mortimer. It will be more difficult to approach him. Napoleon Bonaparte was unknown to me until today. He's a passionate young French soldier for whom Mortimer predicts a promising future. Take heed. He is a man of conviction, which to my mind makes him potentially dangerous. As for Sarah de Richet, what more is there to say? You already know each other. She was apparently invited by Lord Mortimer about an ongoing matter in Paris that concerns a receiver in stolen art. See you soon. Duchess Emily Hillsborough.
I have no space left. I'll retrieve it later.
Dear Gregory.
All right. I've retrieved everything. A devil's thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits.
I should use that, maybe.
What can I do for you, Louis?
I've come to see you about last night's tragedy. Did you hear anything about what happened to Elizabeth?
Yes, we all did. Rumors spread quickly, you know. How awful. I
Well,
didn't
it's not
know
exactly a
her
rumor
well,
she's dead.
but I hope at least the poor thing didn't suffer too much.
Death came quickly. You can be assured of that.
If such a senseless act can happen here, then none of us is truly safe anywhere. Lord Mortimer must be mortified that one of his guests could have committed such an act, don't you think?
He is indeed very upset about it. It's only natural after such a violent murder.
Violent? What do you mean?
Elizabeth was stabbed 9 times.
Oh my God, Louis. How awful. The murderer must have had a serious grudge against her to set up
Either our mother,
It
that
must have been a
Peru
crime
guy,
of
or
passion.
maybe that soldier guy.
Do you know what happened
But
exactly?
again, I don't know. I don't trust
In
either of
fact,
them.
Lord Mortimer has asked me to look into this case, Emily.
Really? Are you Lord Mortimer's snoop now?
I'm doing it for Elizabeth, not to please Mortimer.
Good for you. Quite right, too. Have you found out anything?
Let's...
Did you and Elizabeth get to know each other?
I must admit, Louis, I didn't take much interest in her. I feel a bit guilty about it, but I never actually spoke to her. She seemed burdened by her problems, and as she wasn't invited to the conference, I didn't really seek her out.
I'm now interviewing all the guests to establish the alibis for each person. Just so that I can cross you off the list of suspects, can you tell me what you were doing on the night of the murder?
Am I given to understand that I'm on the list of suspects?
Don't take it the wrong way, but I must consider every possibility.
Well, if you absolutely wanted to be sure of my activities that evening, you only had to join me, you know.
I know, Emily, especially since I couldn't prevent the murder, even though I spent part of the evening with Elizabeth.
You're sure it's not too hard to bear for you?
The fact is, I don't have a choice. But I will find the murderer. I owe Elizabeth that, at least. I hear you were in discussions with the Holy See.
Oh, either His Eminence can't keep his tongue from wagging, or you've been poking your nose where you shouldn't, sir.
Even so, Emily, you're raising a royalist army. That's no small matter.
And you are straying from the subject. Is there anything else you wanted to ask me?
I found a torn piece of dress in Miss Adams' room. Gray silk.
Where's it from?
That's what I'm trying to find out. The color doesn't match any of Elizabeth's dresses, but I might not have found all of her clothes yet.
Good Lord, Louis, do you realize what this means? If this piece of dress isn't from Elizabeth, then it's... I don't have any grey silk dresses, Louis. Neither does my sister, since we wear the same clothes.
Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to check with you.
I'm so sorry, Louis.
Thank you.
Are you all right? You know, I'm sure there's a good reason why your mother was at the scene.
Thank you, Emily. I won't keep you, Emily. Thank you for answering my questions.
See you, Louis.
I still ship it. What are even collector's coins for this? Okay, what rooms am I missing?
Monsieur Napoleon Bonaparte.
Alright, searched him. Really? I don't go downstairs there? So what if I go down the other stairs? Is that where I go? Ah, Peru, I'm not going back in there. No, no, no. No, no, no. He's not a nice guy. Why can't you go downstairs?
What a tragedy, my son. How could such a thing have happened?
How could
That's
such a thing
exactly
have
what I'm
happened?
trying to find out.
The
Did you notice
Italian.
anything out of the ordinary last night?
I saw the young French soldier, Bonaparte, I believe, hanging around near Miss Adams' room. But I would not want to get an innocent man into trouble. It's probably nothing. But if I were you, my son, I would talk to Monsieur Perrault.
Nothing we can do there. What is all that noise?
I've come to speak about the findings of the investigation, my lord.
I'm listening, Louis.
I'm sorry, my lord, but I don't have any evidence conclusive enough to allow me to name the culprit with certitude.
Really? I see. Well, that's your decision, Louis, and I accept it. Given the distinguished guests and the sensitive political issues involved at the conference, I trust you'll leave me to conclude the case in my own way. Right. It's time we spoke about your mother, Louis.
When I first came here, I wasn't that worried. In the past, my mother has taken a few liberties during her missions, including disappearing for several days on end.
That doesn't make me feel any better, Louis.
What was the official reason why my mother came to your island?
I knew about your mother's activities, and yours, in the Golden Order. I thought we had everything to gain by working together.
You mean the cannon deal with Monsieur Bonaparte?
Among others, yes. How did you hear about that?
Monsieur Bonaparte came to speak to me about it yesterday, during lunch.
I see. So impetuous. He was supposed to let me speak to you about it first. Our friend Napoleon desperately needed financial backing to properly equip his army. I took it upon myself to back him because I have a firm conviction that he can go far. Yet he told me that you had spoken and that you hadn't been able to...
Because I don't know
That's putting it mildly. Monsieur Bonaparte is one of those guys who only understands people who think like he does.
Ah, I see what you mean.
Mm-hmm.
He is indeed rather inflexible when it comes to certain subjects. But I am still of the opinion that you can manage to get along.
We shall see. However, there's one thing that surprises me. Did my mother intend to finance a war? I'm not sure that I follow.
No, your mother's aim was not so much to partake in a war, but rather to make Monsieur Bonaparte accountable. France is in turmoil, and having the support of a military man can often come in handy, Louis. You'll see. Once this deal was closed, I had big plans for Sarah.
Such as what?
You see, I've invited several influential figures on my island to present them with a project at the conference. It will be presented later today. I thought that the Golden Order had a role to play, and I still think so. I was hoping Sarah would be able to join us.
I see.
Indeed, if by chance your mother decided not to return to us before the conference, would you do me the great honor of attending? If only to follow the deliberations while waiting for her to duly take her seat.
Why not? We shall see.
Ah, thank you so much.
Huh, there's going to be a decision to be made, and I'll be like, yeah, of course.
What he said. There's something else I'd like to briefly go over. Earlier, you asked me the official reason for your mother's presence here. Is there an off-the-record reason why your mother came here?
She was looking for someone.
Yeah, she was.
What do you mean?
In Paris, we were working on a smuggling case to do with occult objects. We had just arrested a dealer who intended to go to you to meet a buyer. My mother was here to find out to whom he intended to sell his stolen treasure.
Oh. What was the name of your dealer?
From Brochette?
The dealer was called Von Burchard. As for the buyer,
Damn,
he
did
was
I get it
unknown
wrong?
to us.
No, I don't know anything about that. There's something I still don't get. In your opinion, why would your mother remain in hiding over several weeks?
Maybe she found something out.
What do you mean?
My mother has a gift for investigating. If she had picked up a lead, nothing would have stopped her.
The only thing I can tell you is that Sarah had indeed changed. At the beginning of her stay here, we enjoyed spending time together, solving the world's problems.
You seem to know my mother very well, my lord. What did you talk about together?
Oh, as soon as we had a little free time, we liked to share points of view about practically any subject. We would find ourselves embarked on interminable discussions that could go from Monsieur Blanchard's flight in a hot air balloon to the Treaty of Jassy, or the adoption of the metric system in France last year, or even Mr. Eli Whitney's invention in the United States.
My mother must have undoubtedly taken great pleasure in these exchanges. She always was one to appreciate broadening her knowledge. I'm surprised she didn't get you started on the Crusades. It was her favorite subject.
Are you joking? Sarah and I spent entire days together reliving them. It so happens that the Crusades are also my subject of predilection, especially the third. My ancestor distinguished himself brilliantly during the siege of Saint-Jean d'Acre.
Unfortunately, my lord, the Crusades are not my chosen field.
Well, it doesn't matter. You have plenty of time to learn. Your mother is a very well-read woman. You're quite lucky to have her as a model, Louis.
Yes, I know, but I'm still very worried.
I must admit, there are worse things to worry about now, Louis.
What do you mean?
Since she disappeared, your mother has been seen once. Her behavior on the evening of your arrival greatly surprised Gregory and myself. She resurfaced to attack Emma, Emily Hillsborough's twin sister. And she shot her with a pistol. Then, before
Oh,
Gregory
that was her
could
twin?
intervene,
No, wonder they
ran
look
off
similar.
and disappeared again.
Son is similar too.
I beg your pardon? Hang on. Emily has a twin sister who knew my mother? She playing it, goddammit. That means my vision on the wharf, it was actually happening inside the manor. Mother shot Emily's sister? The very person she came looking for? Why would she do that? Excuse me, but between that and the childhood of Lady Adams, it's all a bit much for me to cope with. I need to piece it all together again to see things more clearly. You said that you spent a lot of time talking together at the beginning. What happened for that to change?
I'm afraid I haven't much to tell you. The more the days went by, the more she withdrew into herself. She never gave me an explanation. Until the day came when she purely and simply disappeared.
Where did she go when she wanted to be alone?
She would shut herself away in a room we use as a box room upstairs.
Would you allow me to go there?
Naturally, Louis, of course. I'll send you a servant to open it.
Thank you.
Okay, we got more
That's
to
all I
investigate.
can tell you about the disappearance of your mother, Louis. I would like to have been more helpful.
I shall stay on our trail and follow up any leads.
Thank you. We will meet later on to welcome our last guest. In the meantime, I shall get someone to open the box room upstairs for you.
Thank you.
This is getting very interesting.
The room is just opposite Mortimer's study.
Alright, go to the tower room. We have to go upstairs, right? Oh! That was easy. Right. Over here, shall we? I take it. Might be important, yep. Might be important later.
Raise your head and be reassured, for what comes up here from the mortar world must ripen in our rays. There are burnt papers in the chimney. There's a legible fragment left. Hey, I recognize my mother's handwriting. She says, we must find a safer way to communicate. Someone is onto us. Trust in my faith in the man with the sword. So Mother had an accomplice here. Who could it be?
That soldier guy? Peru?
Who could she be suspicious of?
I'd be suspicious of Peru.
Let's find the next part. Faith, sword. I recognize her love of riddles there.
Can only think of a few of them with swords. Damn it!
The door appears to be locked on the other side. I think I heard something fall to the ground. A metallic open sesame.
Pick the lock.
It's open.
Where's the key on the ground? Didn't we just see a key on the ground? A key was just on the ground. How did it disappear like that? Whoa.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. This book is incredibly precious. I believe this is the book my mother referred to when calling upon the Lord. Volume of the Gutenberg Bible. I guess I'll just come back later.
That'd be important.
It's St. John, painted by Guido Reni. Several portraits of apostles, all signed by Guido Reni. It looks like someone touched this commode recently. There are fingerprints on the sheets and in the dust.
I've been really into that painter.
A fragment of amber. A chest with the occult symbol representing air.
Ah, that's what I could have done. No, I couldn't. It would have worked anyway.
Whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who think only of earthly things.
She mentioned something of a sword, right?
St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean? So we have the figure 11 twice underlined, and a story of a group of pilgrims who it looks like Paul is speaking to. Maybe it's a code. There must be a connection. A text on Paul must be somewhere, and it must be associated with the figure 11. But what's the story with these pilgrims? I mean, a connection with the figure, maybe?
I think it's with that book over there. It's like verse 11, right? Or am I stupid?
But he that hateth his brother is in darkness, and walketh in darkness, and knoweth not whither he goeth, because that darkness hath blinded his eyes. There's something else behind this painting. It says, half of each group will join the first city of Corinth. What the hell does that mean? St. Paul painted by Guido Reni. St. Paul is shown holding a sword. Strange. There's hardly any dust, as if the painting's been cleaned recently. There's a small inscription engraved on the frame. Let's take a closer look. This is how Paul spoke to his pilgrims from Rome. Just above that, someone's written down the figure 11 on the painting and underlined it twice. No, what does that mean?
Wait a minute, I can use that skill thing.
A drawing of the Apostle Matthew, painted by Guido Reni. He's represented as writing the word of the Lord, transmitted by the Holy Spirit, who appears here in the guise of an angel. A Chinese coin.
Another Chinese coin.
This painting has been hanging here for a long time. A lot of dust is built up on it. Well, a finger has drawn a number in the thin layer of dust. I can read the number 4. Caravaggio attained a magnificent command of black and the play of colors too. Paul facing an ordeal, the curtains of his illusions being raised, and receives the light from his Savior. St. Paul is the only saint to be presented twice in these paintings, contrary to the other apostles. How come? St. John is the only apostle painted in this gallery who hasn't got a beard. Hey, wait! That means it's him. He's the youngest apostle.
Oh!
Right! This painting is therefore associated with the answer which E had to give to my mother. Now, I just need to know how to recover the answer. The painting looks like it's been taken down recently. But wasn't my mother said that she would wait for an answer hidden behind the apostle? Ah, of course! There's something written behind the painting. On the second day, the pilgrims will listen to the prophecy of the young apostle. They shall add 1 companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their rank. What does it mean? They should add a companion to their left and 3 to their right to complete their ranks. I imagine it applies to their code, the one Mother set up with the pilgrims. What's this? A group of pilgrims who Paul was talking to, and now John is telling them prophecies?
Something of John? Really? It's not that? I thought it was mentioning maybe John, maybe.
Of the 4 apostles shown in this piece, Paul is the only one who isn't an evangelist. He is the 13th apostle.
I'm already confused with this. I think we figured everything out, but what's the next thing we do?
And suddenly there came a sound from heaven like a rushing mighty wind, and it filled all the house where they were sitting.
I thought it was gonna be like a 2 plus 2 is 4. So number 8 then?
And he became very hungry, and would have eaten, but while they were made ready, he fell into a trance. Hey, there's a note here. A message from Mother in reply to E.
Oh,
You must leave urgently, but first I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare. Watch out for Volner. He figured out I was avoiding him. Allay suspicion. See you tomorrow evening. Stand ready. For now, let's cease all communication until we meet. Take care of yourself. I suppose this must be the last message. What happened afterward? If it's what I suspect, I fear the worst. What did Mother mean by, I absolutely must go beyond the nightmare? I must go beyond the nightmare. What does she mean by that? Clearly she must be trying to do something useful, but what? Nightmare. Does that remind me of anything? Well, if it's a concept, I've got no idea what it is. I need to figure out what this means. Mortimer's getting his guests together. I ought to join them so I don't look suspicious.
Yeah, I could have found it, but... Ooh, 3 achievements, nice.
It's time I went back and joined everyone in the small salon.
Okay, I'll stop the stream right here.